actually. First of all, that's a lot of supply he just lost. Second of all, he wants to conserve larvae for either drones or hydralisks at this stage. Looks like he's just dedicating all hydralisks. And second of all, that's going to cap his supply somewhat. Where he wanted to have that supply open for hydralisks, he's going to have to wait a minute, and that's going to give Iris more time to shore up his defense. It looks like he's already got that bunker down, probably a marine inside. And then actually no, he's going to push up with another, it looks like a control group of hydralisks, pick off that bunker before more marines can get in, or SCVs can get in a position to get a surround. Able to pick that off, but a little premature. He's going to, looks like he's going to lose, keeping that hydralisk force there for a good position. Once again, Iris pulling off there, but able to separate those hydralisks from the protective barrier around that overlord, so that overlord once again picked off. That's going to allow vultures once again to establish a mine position. And Iris being very aggressive with those SCVs. I guess he feels confident with the number of hydralisks that are being pushed him that he can afford to lose a couple SCVs with this attack force and doesn't have to worry about it. He knows he can kind of outproduce at this stage, especially if Modesty continues to throw the hydralisks at the front door, unable to break at this stage. Iris, just stalwart defense. This is kind of like an iron curtain right here, quite literally iron curtain. Goliath, tanks, vultures, no tanks at this stage, but as soon as that tank's out, that's really going to seal this up nicely. Barracks burning in the corner. Nice battle scar. A couple vultures planting mines, and now actually Modesty needs to be a little bit careful. Otherwise those vultures might be able to just sneak through once their mines are expended and force Modesty back to his home base to defend again. Overlord slowly moving up. Needs that speed upgrade to really again get in position to deal with those mines. Armory's been up for a while, so maybe we might see some weapons won. No SCVs on gas on the main, so a little more vulture heavy. And this is what I was talking about. Those vultures going to be able to sneak by. Yeah, sneaking right by those hydralisks. Now some hydralisks going to have to be, I think there's going to be hydralisks in position at home base, but maybe Modesty wanted to produce drones there. Might be able to get a scout out as well. Third hatchery now going down. I don't know if I don't think one of those vultures might be able to scoot through, but I don't think both of them are. And a hydralisk looks like it's already in position. We'll see if that drone's going to create a blockade. No, that drone actually going down to the secondary. And actually not even seeing those vultures out in position at all. Kind of maybe just going out to scout. Yeah, it looks like they're going to scout for additional expansions. He wants to get an idea of what he's up against, making sure that Modesty isn't just containing him at this stage and then expanding all over the map. Make sure he is in fact just kind of going all in hydralisks. Seeing an upgrade there, I've got to assume that siege tech on that second machine shop. Now Modesty starting to tech up a little bit. He's getting some more drone saturation on his secondary, and I think that was Iris's cue. He's like, okay, I'm not seeing more hydralisks at this stage, and that was really key there. Modesty not blocking his front door. Second machine shop going down, so we're going to see a switch from production to tanks. Looks like we've got that turret going up in the background as well, so Iris thinking drop, which is a pretty good call, because speed, you got the third hatchery going down, speed's probably going to be upgraded, needs speed anyway. A good prediction, I would say, of Modesty, and we're not seeing a spire, so we've got to see we're going to see lurkers, and you got to see drop, because he's got to break Iris. Otherwise, again, once those mech units are out, they're just going to be able to push. And those vultures now running up on that secondary, not able to. Looks like they might get a drone kill. I don't think didn't get a drone kill. Good look at the drone saturation on the secondary, and also saw that there wasn't an additional base established. So, and now, yeah, the Goliath configuration, Iris really thinking drop at this stage. He's starting to build down to that southern border. Looks like he's getting the Terran booster upgrade for his Goliath to deal against, kill those overlords early before they can get into his base. A couple of Hydras kind of milling outside the base. Looks like he's going to establish another, maybe not. He's got that fourth hatchery going down at the mineral only. We'll see what. Again, I'm not quite sure what Modesty's up to at this stage. I assume that because we haven't seen a spire, we are going to see a transition to lurkers, and having those tanks out looks like siege tech. I've got to assume that siege tech just finished. A couple tanks coming out. There's the tank. There is siege tech there. That tank really going to be good again, and they're also seeing the transition to science vessels. I love this blockade here, but to the south by Iris, setting up all those supply depots so you can't unload your troops until they're in a really horrible position with that tank right on that corner. It can just shell from a distance, and only one or two tanks there can take out a huge force with those Goliaths. Otherwise, you got to drop either cliffside and get shelled by the tanks, or keep moving the overlords forward just to get taken out by the Goliaths. Nice defensive posture there by Iris, and that's all he has to do is, again, play defensively, shell up. He's got 3 tanks on the secondary, so you're not going to get a nice little cheesy lurker run where a bunch of lurkers run up kind of on that secondary. He's going to have science vessels in not too long, and Iris, he's going to have, all he has to do is build up an attack force, and I'm not seeing any mutalisks in the air. There's not going to be anything Modesty will be able to do. He's going to have to, he really needs mutalisks in kind of combination with hydralisks to fight this off. He hasn't got a spire down, so, and it looks like, yeah, just the way those overlords position, I think he's going to go for more of a drop build. Comsat there from Iris to kind of get a look at the main. He sees that there hasn't been any push attack. Yeah, there's a speed upgrade. I think that's loading up some hydralisks. We are in fact going to see a drop. The one nice thing for Modesty with this sort of thing is that forces Iris to stay a little bit more in position, maybe a little bit longer than he wants to, because essentially Iris can't push on Modesty's base again with the distance, because with all those troops, because then maybe Modesty can go drop in his main. But with that configuration, Iris might just risk it, because that's it's a very good defense in his back door. 6 overlords pushing in position, and again I think if he goes for this drop right now he's just going to get absolutely annihilated. A couple lurkers in hold position, it looks like, over the ramp just in case there's a counterattack after this drop. Vulture's pushing through, they're going to see the overlords alongside, Modesty going to back off. I think that actually works to his advantage, because again I think if he just went in right there he would have ended up in a bad position, because look at those overlords already waiting. It looks like there's already 2 siege tanks, and again they can wreak a lot of damage. A couple lurkers trying to push off, mines being established by Iris, kind of out in the field to deal with some lurkers. Lurkers just kind of hanging out there, pushing off that engineering bay. Got to think about going cliffside, and I think that's Modesty's last option. He's got to go either that or go establish map control. A couple vultures have pushed out, and vultures actually needs to be careful that these vultures don't sneak through and get some economic damage done here, because again it's kind of a because Modesty, a dropship out from Iris, and we'll see if he goes for the main or the secondary or both. Gotta assume there's vultures in there to get to reap some more drone kills. Modesty already behind economically because he invested so much early into that Hydralisk push. Iris has a pretty sizable attack force on his secondary. They're not showing it on the map, but just trust me, it's there. And it looks like we're going to see the drop simultaneously for Modesty. This is bad timing. He's going to be focused at the exact wrong spot. Overlord to kind of peek there at Iris's secondary. There's that first overlord going in, and as you can see, just getting smashed by those overlords. Another turret going up. Here comes the drop from Iris. So 2 vultures unloaded on the secondary, and this is going to hurt even more, because keep in mind he was low on drone counts otherwise, and it looks like some more. Both vultures going to be able to sneak through and plant mines, full mine load, and that's going to keep those Hydralisks from coming back and providing some support to try to fight these fight these vultures off and protect those drones. Drones headed towards the secondary. Mine going off, catching 2 more Hydralisks. But again, it's just the economic damage here, delaying Modesty more, giving Iris more position, more breathing room to get his attack force up. This is just going to seal it, I think, and it looks like a gas drone being taken out as well. Modesty, whether or not he wants to drop at this stage, nice little hold lurker position trick here. He's got 4 lurkers, 2 tanks actually sitting on lurkers entirely. Hopefully he can do some damage with those. That'll be the key. If he can do a lot of damage with that, once that attack force pushes out, he might be in a good position. It looks like he's holding here. He's got to hold. He's got to do so much damage with these. He's got to basically take out this entire attack force. If he doesn't, there's no way Modesty can really stop a slow push right across the middle of the map. Maybe again with that counter drop he could do something. There he's releasing it. There's the comsat. Iris able to kill it, and it looks like he took some damage, but I don't think it was enough. Now those tanks in siege position and some mines out in the field. Looks like taking out a couple Hydralisks here and there. Here comes the drop from Modesty. I think he knows he's in a bad economic spot, so he's just going to try to push it at this stage. And beautiful defense there, and a nice little contained position even. And you're going to try to push both fronts, losing those overlords, losing those Hydralisks. Again, they just melt as soon as they come out to those siege tanks. The Goliath's able to push around and clean them up very easily. So Iris very easily defending his main and pushing, and you can see on the minimap he still has attack force off that Hydralisk attack, and Modesty knows he doesn't have any attack forces on the ground. He wouldn't be able to stop Iris's push at this stage. So Iris very convincingly winning the first game. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Going to move on to Roro versus Ruby. Again, I know nothing about Roro, so this should be a fun match. Again, check out gomtv.net. I don't say that enough. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy that. Should get some more foreigner games after this. Later.